Iran is an ancient nation with huge natural resources. 50 years ago, the country flourished as a free society in contrast with the surrounding Islamic and Soviet cultures. The Iranian king and his wife expanded women's rights, improved education, and oversaw a period of freedom and prosperity unequaled in southwestern Asia. But in the revolution of 1979, all of this was taken from Iran. Their king was deposed, and the people fell into the hands of a violent Islamist regime.
It's extraordinary how one man can command such adoration.
For 45 years now, Iran has been cut off from the world while the Islamist government tightly controls public discourse, tortures dissenters, enforces strict dress codes on women, and persecutes anyone who does not follow the state religion.
Do you understand that we do not regard it as civilized to kill people for their opinions?
Well, you may have different versions of defining civilization.
But change is in the air, and the people are starting to rebel.
Protests in Iran are intensifying over the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini. Many protesters are even calling the movement a revolution.
We travelled to the European Parliament to ask Iranian dissidents what can be done about the regime in Tehran.
There is a lot of hope. I personally never thought in my lifetime I will see a change. And now I am sold that within my lifetime, this government will collapse.
Iranian people doesn't recognize the Iranian regime as legitimate, so they want to get rid of the regime and they want their rights back.
We should help Iranians to regain their true place in the civilized world, because today their enemy is our enemy, and they're beginning to get violent with all of us. The Iranian regime's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps have terrorized the world far beyond Iran's borders, conducting deadly attacks in Argentina, Bulgaria, the UAE, as well as Europe and America.
The Islamic Republic's role in the region has been destabilizing for many, many years. If you look at their proxies, the Houthis in Yemen, the consequences for European trade, for example.
Houthi militia in Yemen have been attacking ships.
But now the world's biggest shipping companies are detouring thousands of miles and going around the Cape of Good Hope.
We see Hezbollah in Lebanon. Lebanon is a failed state thanks to Islamic Republic's destructive influence over Hezbollah. We have Hamas and other Palestinian terrorist organizations. We have also proxies until recently in Syria, currently in Iraq. And this has broadened consequences for many 100 million people's daily life in Middle East.
When you push a little bit further on the investigations, you see the fingerprint of IRGC everywhere. In 1994, in Paris, we had bombings. At that time, it was officially Algerian groups. But now we know the link it had to negotiations that France had at that time with mullahs. And so it's our role also as Iranian activists to raise awareness about IRGC's actions, how they are structured, how they operate, how they manage to access funds to build up their operations and to run their operations here. IRGC, its DNA is a paramilitary structure that is there to spread the ideology of the Islamic Republic and to export it everywhere around the world.
Tensions have recently tightened as the West back Israel in its war against Iran's close regional allies, the Muslim Brotherhood, the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas.
IRGC's fingerprint is everywhere.
Iran repeatedly threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, disrupting the welfare of the Gulf states as well as the West's energy supply. And for the first time, Iran has attacked Israel, raining down hundreds of ballistic missiles last year.
What we want to do, what we aim to do, is weaken the Islamic Republic by weakening their strongest weapon, and that is their Second Army Islamic Republic Revolutionary Guard.
The Iranian regime despises Israel and will always support the enemies of Israel and the West. However, there are signs that Iran's violence today is more a sign of desperation than of strength. And this is why the West must respond now.
When I ask some socialist friends, what is your option if you don't want to use the sanction tools, what is your option? And the answer is that they don't have any other solution. So from my perspective, this is the best tool we have.
Iran is not like other enemies of the West. Within living memory, they have enjoyed an ordered and peaceful way of life without endless Western intervention. And despite the impact that sanctions will have on Iranians' prosperity, the people will cooperate with global efforts to help them regain their freedom.
What happens is that Iranian people, even though they will be hardly impacted, they know that it's for a greater cause, which is to get rid of the regime.
The regime itself, along with many of its morally dubious allies, will claim that sanctions amount to persecution in a desperate attempt to use Western human rights legislation to support ideologies which couldn't care less about Western human rights.
Without warning, the IRGC opened fire on the protesters. In this one incident alone, the regime murdered as many as 100 Iranians and possibly more.
This idea that sanctions affect Iranian people more than the government is the narrative that the Iranian regime lobbyists are trying to push. The data on this issue is pretty clear. The root of the economic problems in Iran is not the sanctions. The Iranian economy has been experiencing double-digit inflation for close to half a century. That is far longer than when the first wave of sanctions went into effect. You have the ballooning of money supply, which has pretty much nothing to do with the sanctions.
With terror attacks, human rights abuses, and so forth, it will always be easy to show that the source of Iran's human rights crisis is the Iranian regime itself.
I'm happy that European policy has shifted during these 2 years. We have seen Canada now following and terror listing IRGC. Let's hope that we can find a unanimous decision in the European Union shortly.
As the people in Iran rise up, now is the time for the rest of the world to clamp down on the Ayatollahs and squeeze them out of existence.
It seems like a lot of people, especially the new younger generation, they share this view that there is hope, there seems to be light at the end of the tunnel, and I really hope in a couple of years this happens. Trump administration right now has given us a very limited window of opportunity to take action and bring this government down. So I hope within the next 4 years, these guys will be gone.